many people who watch this show will know the situation that's going on between Palestine and Israel in any event. But the important thing is that this is not a war. This is not two sides attacking each other. This is not an offensive. This is not a battle. These are all words designed to show two equal countries fighting against each other and Israel defending itself. This is a major distortion of reality. It's a lie, it's fake news, and it must be challenged at every occasion. This is an asymmetric warfare where the fourth largest army in the world, with the technical and sophisticated warfare equal to none, maybe only to the USA, is using systemic collective punishment on a civilian population of 2 million civilians living in Gaza Strip, which is about 25 miles long. And we know that numerous children, numerous civilians have died in the last week, and many more will die until Netanyahu is finished. But it's not the first time. In 2008, with Operation Cast Lead, with 2014, with Operation Protective Edge, thousands of people died and Palestinians were injured as a result of Israeli aggression against Palestine. And the three things that have happened, that is happening in the background behind each one of these situations, are elections going on within Israel. It is no coincidence that a week ago Netanyahu was dead in the water as a politician. No other politician wanted to form a government with him. There was a combined opposition party group to Netanyahu that had formed, including the Palestinian members of the Knesset. That, by the looks of it now, is dead in the water, with Netanyahu growing in popularity as Palestinians die. Labour Friends of Palestine met with the ambassador, the Palestinian ambassador, on Friday, where numerous Labour MPs were part of. We produced a statement condemning the actions of Israel, condemning the collective punishment on the civilian population, and demanding an end to the attacks now, to demanding that we stop selling arms to Israel, demanding that this government, our government, immediately recognize the state of Palestine. One of those things, and that's a particular area of concern with me, is that we've got to make sure that Labour leadership continues with its policy of recognition of the state of Palestine. And this is really important. This is not recognition with the caveat when things are right in the region, which is equal to the Tories and indeed Netanyahu's policy of recognition. It is immediate, unrecognized, not caveated recognition of the state of Palestine when Labour gets into power. This is something that Labour Friends of Palestine achieved some years ago, and let's hope it continues under Keir Starmer. So we're working in the background as limited as we can as a small organisation within the Labour movement, but I can tell you now that we have over 140 Labour MPs that collectively are asking questions of our leadership as to what we're doing and making sure that we have a voice within Parliament.
And I have to ask this, but I mean, I know you're probably not keen to talk about it, but Keir Starmer wasn't on any of the demonstrations yesterday. And what are you feeling that he's doing enough to speak out on this?
Well, Lisa Nandy, who is the Shadow Foreign Secretary, as you know, was chair of Labour Friends of Palestine, and she's an incredible advocate for the Palestinian people. And I know that there are those out there that within the Labour movement that may criticise Lisa for a number of things, but when it comes to her voice on Palestine, she is unwavering, and she has actually produced a statement criticising Israel's collective actions against the Palestinians. When it comes to Keir Starmer's involvement, he has met with Labour Friends of Palestine. He has been very vocal in his support for many of the actions that we have. But as I say, the one thing that concerns me is that we don't start sliding back on this issue of recognition, and that we don't start putting caveats as to it. We must immediately recognise the state of Palestine when we get into government. It must be one of the first foreign policy decisions that we make. Lisa Nandy, in her condemnation of the actions yesterday, repeated the commitment to immediate recognition of Palestine. So I'm hoping that's going to continue.